If you can, if you end up hearing him, let me know. Hello, everyone, and welcome to another Women's MTB Network podcast. I'm joined with Candace, who's turned into a fabulous co-host with her her little New Orleans attitude and her funny quips. Candace, you're
Second
awesome.
one this
I
week.
love working with you. That's right. We're knocking them out, huh?
I swear.
On today's podcast, though, we have the Women of Oz group. Some of you guys know the Women of Oz. I did a video on their Sunset Summit that I went to last year, thanks to Candace, who helped get us there. And they are an amazing group out of Northwest Arkansas. Sorry, you guys. End of week. I am getting there.
You sound more Australian, I think, as the week goes on. Yeah.
Do I really? The Aussie really comes out. So the Women of Oz, they're a nonprofit organization. They're dedicated to empowering women through the rewarding sport of mountain biking, which is why we are all here to talk about mountain biking. Their leadership is incredible. I had the opportunity to see firsthand how they do their events, how they gather women to ride. And I just had a blast when I was there last year for the summit. And Candace, you work with them now too, right?
I do. I'm the head of the philanthropy committee, and I took over from Brittany, who we'll talk to on this podcast as well. So
yes, we have a few of the members, founding members as well, who started this group. I'm going to bring them on real quick. So here we go. We've got Lauren, Amy, Brittany, and Allison. Hey, ladies.
Thanks for having us.
Yay. We're so excited that you're here and that we have multiple of you guys to chat with us today. So let's start a little bit. We'll go to Lauren first. I don't know if the squares are the same that I'm looking. I've got Lauren up top, Brittany and Allison, and then Amy. Is that how you guys see it too? There's okay, cool.
Yeah, so Lauren's we'll go this to way Lauren. On me.
Yeah. Okay, yeah, Lauren. And then we'll do Brittany and Allison, and then we'll do Amy. Lauren, tell us a little bit about how you got into mountain biking and your favorite place to ride.
Ooh, well, it has to be the mountain bike capital of the world, Bentonville, Arkansas. So I started road riding in Rhode Island a long time ago, let's say 2000, and did a lot of road riding when I moved to California. Started mountain biking a little bit there, and really not until I moved to Arkansas did I really just dive headfirst into mountain biking with all of these women right here, really. And it kind of sprung out of wanting to make friends and connections in a new town, moving to a new town. And all of the trails are in our backyards. And you see all these people having a good time on the trails. And I wanted to check it out too. And then I was able to do it with all these amazing women. And there's so many great trail systems. Really, all my favorite are in Arkansas because I get to ride them all the time. Here in Arkansas, I think my favorite would be the Blowing Springs Loop, which is in Bella Vista, right north of Bentonville, and Hobbs State Park. I really love those trails and going out there. That's actually 45 minutes away from Bentonville. And there's a million trails just right from downtown. But those two are probably my most favorite.
That's awesome. That's so awesome. Brittany, what got you into mountain biking? What's your favorite place to ride?
What got me into mountain biking was chasing my son. Was wanting to have that experience. And yeah, we tried baseball, football, that kind of stuff. Didn't really take. Biking, he was naturally good at. And trying to just dive in. We have an older daughter as well, and anything they do, I want to be there right with them. Biking is unique in that aspect that you don't sit on the sidelines and just watch the game. You actually can be part of it. So that's kind of what started it. There was an organization called Fast Kids here that was headed up by Greg Poole. So I kind of learned from them. I used my son as a crutch and, it was like, hey, I've got to stay with my 7-year-old son, because he's young and not because I need to learn more and grow as an individual myself, but learned a lot from that organization. And then it really started booming. So 8 years ago, I started riding. It didn't start really coming into play until about 5 years ago, whenever Women of Oz started. And I met this this one here on one of our local trails. Hey, we've got this thing that we might be doing, and I think you'd be really good at it because you're a great rider. And I'm like, who, me? Like, I just dust shelves, stay at home mom. So that really took off from there. And then fast forward, here we are helping out millions of other people, not just on the bike, but in life in general, which is pretty cool to watch that blossom. Favorite trail, I mean, obviously Bentonville. A year ago, I moved out of here after living here for 7 and moved to Atlanta, Georgia.
Really?
Heart's still a little tender, but I found some amazing opportunities out there, and the people are beautiful to get to know. So yes, Bentonville as a whole, but if I had to pick somewhere other than, it would probably be Cuyuna, Minnesota. We love to go back there, and the red dirt, Ironton.
There's red dirt in Minnesota?
Yeah.
Is it imported?
Wow.
So it's a neat place to take the kids, and you can go ride, 100 miles and not feel totally wiped, but they've got some amazing things going on up there, and watching their little community grow is special. So yeah.
That's awesome. That's super cool to hear. Does your son still ride?
Yeah. Most adults I know. He's 13 now. So, but yeah.
Oh, that's awesome. That's so cool.
I think what Brittany failed to share was at that point she wasn't faster than me, so she could not get rid of me. And I was like, no. You're good enough. Come on. You need to wait a second. You'll work. So I'm not leaving.
So tell us.
That's fair.
So tell us, Allison, what got you into mountain biking? And I'm assuming Bentonville is your favorite place to ride, right?
Well, how'd you know that was going to be the answer? I am a recovering road rider, and I had a friend here who had started a women's road group, and I was riding with her, and she's just was very persistent that I would like mountain biking. And I was like, no, I'm pretty sure I don't look like those women. And that's not, you know what I mean? Like, I just was picturing like the full face helmet and all of, like the gear. And I was like, I don't think so. That's not my thing. But she was quite persistent. And so then I tried it, loved it. And, as they say, it's all history from there. So I think favorite trail is, this one's kind of an Easter egg for your viewers. When you come to Bentonville, you've got to find the Women of Oz Trail. It's called Woz Up.
What?
So there is a Women of Oz Trail, and it is a blast, and all the trails around it. It's just a beautiful connector over in one of the trail systems. So I'm not going to ruin it. You guys got to find it.
Okay, I'm gonna be there for Bentonville Bike Fest next month, so Candace or anyone better take me to find that because I want to ride it.
I don't know if you'll like it. It's called Woz Up for a reason.
Well, I'm gonna be on an e-bike, so I'll be fine. No, I'll be on an e-bike. I'll be good. Amy, tell us about you. What got you into mountain biking, and Bentonville, is it your favorite place to ride?
I might go off script a little bit here, I think. I grew up in northern Michigan, surrounded by a lot of boys in my family. My dad was one of 5 and lots of grandkids, most of which were boys. So I spent my summers chasing them around on bikes. And then post-college, I had the opportunity to move to Southern California and kind of jumped head first into working in the cycling industry. So I kind of took my passion and put it to work and started making money off of it, and just kind of continued to grow my love for the sport. It's always been really dirt focused. But I would say, I have one of each tool in my garage these days. And I've just kind of bounced around from Southern California to Colorado and now Arkansas. And mountain bike has always been there, and have continued to build my career in the space as well. So as far as favorite place to ride, I've been a lot of places over the years, so I can't pick just one. I could probably pick some place in each state or country that I've been, but
how about this? What's your favorite place to ride right now?
Right now, probably out my back door when I have time. So it would be Kohler. It's definitely like a good, I mean, it literally is out my back door. So it's a good like hour little
That's so
drink
good.
out. Yeah. So
I was so jealous of you guys. You do have some great trails. And like, I keep telling Candace to move out to California. She's like, no, I'm not going to be able to go out my front door and just ride, you know? So I am jealous.
Nope.
You guys have some amazing trails out there.
It's true. We are pretty spoiled. Like, I kind of feel bad when I like hear people, they're like, oh, I only ride like Saturday. I'm like, ugh.
Well, I mean,
That's bad for you.
we have 500 miles of single track accessible from our downtown city center. And the best part is within 10 minutes, you can be sitting at a restaurant enjoying a cold beer after your ride. So it's really tough to beat.
It's so
Yeah.
good.
Yeah, tell me about it. I just left it a year ago. Yeah. So
How often do
I
you
like
visit?
saw Brittany's eyes when I said that.
Yeah.
Please, appreciate it.
Touched a nerve. Touched a nerve.
How
Sorry.
often do you visit, Brittany?
I'm sorry?
How often do you visit?
Pretty often. We have a daughter that still goes to the university here, and have family,
nice.
and of course, amazing friends. So pretty often, as much as we can. Yeah.
Well, that's cool. That's cool. We kind of want to get into now a little bit about what inspired you guys to get into it. I think Candace has got some stuff she's lined up. Take it away, Candace.
Well, yeah, I mean, I know how, I got involved and so forth, but again, bringing it back to why I wanted just the OG women on today was just to really talk about like how that even came about and what inspired you guys to just start Women of Oz. And like, there was 10 of you total that were together. So I kind of just want to hear that story
yeah, we
of
should
just
share that
how
for
it all,
sure.
how it came to
Especially
happen.
because I often get questions from women like, how do we start a group or a chapter or something to get local women together to ride? So I'd love to really hear how you guys formed that.
I think Allison, you might have the best recollection, especially that first meeting. There's about 30 people at that table.
Yeah,
So
I mean,
before that,
I think just to summarize it, we wanted other women to ride with. That's it. We're solving for a problem. Why are women not doing this? What is stopping them? And so we, the year previous, like I think it was probably about 6 months earlier, Amy was working with Visit Bentonville. Or no, you weren't working with Visit Bentonville yet. You were working at IMBA.
I was working at IMBA. If you want to start there, we can kind of just give a little bit of, I had experience and opportunities to kind of bounce back and forth with Bentonville and what was happening here. And I had, at one point with IMBA, we had started to embark on a journey to figure out like where our members were and how we could grow our women membership across the organization. And that led us down to this huge rabbit hole about they were coming to our website, not basically finding what they were looking for and bouncing pretty quickly. And so the thought behind it was we need to somehow reach these women and understand what it is that they want so that we can start providing them those resources and or pointing them to the right places. And the best way we thought about doing that was hosting a summit where we could gather some of the, women mountain bikers from across the country to have some of these discussions. And we were fortunate enough that a good friend of mine, Rebecca Rush, jumped in and was like, I want to help. I want to figure out how to, get more women into the sport. So she was so awesome in helping guide the experience. And then Bentonville came into play because of other relationships that we had. And it turns out it was the exact right place that we were supposed to be. So in early 2018, the IMBA Women's Uprising Summit happened in Bentonville, and there was a lot of work that was captured out of that. Many of these women were in the room and participated. And then fast forward that fall, I ended up taking a job with Visit Bentonville and moved to the community. So now I was a part of this network of, like Allison mentioned, women that were riding bikes, but maybe not all together. And that's when the round table happened. So
yeah, I think there were lots of little pockets of activity. There was a group called Dirt Divas. There, Amy had just hosted the Uprising. There was a woman who is also a founder named Courtney that was hosting this Tuesday ride. She just was showing up every Tuesday and riding, and that group was just morphing and morphing. And so there was a lot of energy, but it took just bringing everyone to the table. And so we called this round table, and Amy was there. I got invited and had no business going, but there was a free lunch. And so I was like, well, I can check this out. And it was in this really beautiful office I'd never been in. I was like, I'm going to go check this out, even though I probably shouldn't be going. And so there were probably 50 of us, 40 of us in that room. And we just sort of said, okay, what is this? What's it going to be? And that day we came up with the name. We came up with, okay, our mission is to get women on mountain bikes by breaking down the barriers. We established that. And then we decided, okay, the first Saturday of every month, we're going to host a ride. And we're going to do it rain or shine, first Saturday. And we will show other women how to ride. And that was the goal. And so that was like early 2019. So we set our first ride for March of 2019. And then everybody who was a coach for NICA had to go to NICA's coaches conference. So there were a handful of us left who didn't really know that much. We just had a lot of enthusiasm for our first ride, but we did it and we were shocked that women came. Like 40 women showed up. I mean, we thought, oh my gosh, we have done it. We can't believe we just pulled this off. And we didn't know everything, but what we knew is that we knew more than those women showing up. Right? We knew how to teach them the basics. And so that was kind of how it started.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. You know, I haven't heard of a lot of female groups in the country that have a leadership group like you guys. You have various different women helping in different capacities. There's a group here in California, but it's one woman and not really having support from others. And I think that's a little sad. Like, I'm trying to help her get everything off the ground. There's various chapters around, but what I love about you guys is that it's a collaborative effort and you have so many different points of view coming together to make this work. I was so freaking like happy when I went to Summit because I just could not believe how many women showed up. I could not, like, I was, you're saying 40 on your first time. How many women were at the Sunset Summit last year? Were like 1,000?
It was 400. I like 1,000.
It felt like 1,000.
Like 1,000.
400, like 400 women. That's absolutely insane. That's insane that you could pull that together.
I mean, I was just shocked to hear that 40 women showed up to the very first ride ever. Like, did you even know that there was 40 women existing that wanted to mountain bike in there? Like, what?
And to know,
like, better question there.
If you remember, it was cold.
Oh,
it was 32 degrees to be exact.
It was freezing. Brittany, you were there.
I was
right?
there.
Oh, it was so cold. I had a broken arm. Which wasn't helping at all promoting it. Like, oh, yeah.
I was just going to say.
Behind me, like, oh, no, it's so fun. Don't worry. You'll be fine.
Yeah, I think like a huge part of the secret to our success is, and I really feel strongly behind this, that Allison in particular, she has a way to pull women in to our organization who might not feel like they belong, but they have a really great skill set. And she's taught all of us to do that same thing. So when everyone in the community who is a ride leader with Women of Oz, we ride, we meet women, we identify these women and we invite them into the group, not only to just come ride, but come ride, be a part of the leadership team. You do belong. And we really do encourage so many women to come join us. And I feel like giving people that sense of belonging and encouragement has really gone a long, long way. And I think even, I know for sure, Brittany and Allison was the one who brought us into the organization. And to speak for Brittany too, I'm sure I'm very, very grateful for that as well.
Yeah. I mean, seriously, you guys are an inspiration. I'm not just saying that. Like, I legit admire what you were putting together, because it is a team effort. And to find that many women that ride, it's just a true testament of how many of us are in the sport and need a voice and a place to ride. I mean, okay, Candace, when we were there, you were telling me, you showed me an app you all had for like when you guys were going to ride and whatever it was that you were using. Is it true you guys have like 1,500 members or something along those lines?
I don't know. Let's see.
Yeah, let's
Yeah,
see.
I was actually about to pull it. It's pretty close, I think. Because what's happening now is, like, in Sedona, when I led a ride, people were like, "Oh, you're in Bentonville. Well, I'm coming there." And so I add them because these women are looking for other women to ride with, or just group rides in general. And I add them to this page. And so, like, now they're connected and making friends in Bentonville that they can come back and visit and come back and ride to. 2 women actually from Sedona. Mia, you'd be happy that I connected them, and they are now riding. One of the girls went to the Tuesday ride. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
you
awesome.
know, I think we're gonna have to, when we go to Bentonville, we're gonna do a ride with y'all, and I think I might have to cap it at some point, but we could talk about that, because when we were in Sedona, we didn't expect, we had over 50 people show up for the co-ed ride and over 30 women show up for the ladies ride, and we had to literally split. It was the biggest group rides of the festival, so we were just like, this is amazing that we need to split these rides now. What are we gonna do?
Yeah. Spicy riders to the left, not spicy, go the other way. Like, that's just how we divided that group. Okay, so it looks like what, green plus riders. At this moment, there's 1,188 members.
Yeah.
But also
Wow.
people might be doubled up, because I'm in green and I'm in blue, right? So there's also 400 people in the blue riders group me.
So this is the group
give or take.
As Allison was saying, we do the monthly first Saturday of the month big group ride where we average about 150 women, including the ride leaders, to come and ride together. And so when we do that, we offer fundamental skills clinics largely to beginner riders. And then we divide it up between beginners, green level, blue, advanced, and we let people self-select what group level they are based on their skill level and endurance. Yeah. And then afterwards, we highly encourage people to join our group me so that they can continue to ride with the women that they just rode with. And so that's another huge part of our organization, just continuing to connect women to ride together, hang out together, and just build an even stronger community.
That's so cool. That's so cool. I told my wife that we need to move there, and she goes, "Really, Arkansas?" And I was like, "No, you have to go. You have to actually like ride there to see it."
It's a gem.
We're hoping.
I'm pretty lucky. I started here, so I don't even know what it's like to like live someplace where I have to drive an hour and make like a full day of it to get somewhere. So I'm sure I would be turned upside down.
I'll call you later.
Like how spoiled. I know. I feel very bad, Brittany. I'm like constantly talking about how the trails are. Okay, yeah, you're right. You call me out. I'm not sad. I'm sad you're gone.
Brittany, is there any chance you would move back to Bentonville at any point?
Yeah, there's a big chance. Where we're at now, the people are amazing. The community's great. There's nothing negative over there, but I do miss the accessibility, and then also what that can blossom into. So not only just the trails, but then you can also go grocery shopping. You can ride your bike into town to the movie theater. It just gives you another way of life that we really enjoy. Loading the bike, traveling 20 minutes to do a 25-minute or a 25-mile trail system is just not. We would love to move back, for the accessibility.
That's amazing.
Yeah.
So this question is for any of y'all that want to answer it, and I'm sure you all going to have different answers for this. What are some of the biggest challenges that Women of Oz had faced? Well, hold on, let's back up real quick. How old is Women of Oz? Like, was it 5-6 years old that you guys started the nonprofit?
March of 2019.
Okay.
We just
Okay,
turned
so right
5.
before COVID. Okay, so 5 years old. So there are some growing pains with that, as anyone knows who started a nonprofit or a business. What are some of the biggest challenges y'all have faced in creating this?
I'll go first. I think I was new to leadership for a nonprofit, and I think one of the biggest things we encountered very early was mission creep, right? Like, oh, but could we lead rides for kids? Oh, we could totally do that. Let's involve kids. Maybe we'll teach them, because then we get the mom. Or we get this question all the time, like, when are you going to start the Men of Oz? To which we say never. But
Start your own group.
You are on your own. But there's always an opportunity for more and more and more. And you've got to just reduce it back down to your mission. And you ask the question, what is the mission? And does this fit in the mission? If the answer is no, forget it. Because if you try to do everything all at once, you expand too quickly and you will fail.
Yep. I'm literally writing that down because that's like the best advice I've had all year.
Well, you can't let that foundation crumble, and build too much. And so I can understand that would be a little scary,
Yeah. What would you say, Amy, was some of the growing pains, some of the issues y'all have faced?
Gosh, in the early days, I think it was, especially finding enough leaders to help support the network that was showing up and how to get them appropriately trained to be able to handle all of that, to the point that like the growth was happening. I mean, to have 40 women show up to your first ride, I mean, that was pretty unbelievable, especially in conditions that were not quite favorable. So I think it was, how do you scale pretty quickly to handle a larger number of your direct audience, not beyond that. I also think like I would probably echo what Allison said about mission creep. Like Bentonville and Northwest Arkansas is a very collaborative community as a whole. And so we tend to always lean into helping each other out a lot. And that oftentimes leads to a lot of people kind of either stepping in and doing some of the same thing or overreaching in areas and overextending themselves at times. And so I think it was a really good taking that challenge and turning it into a leadership opportunity for the women in this community to say, hey, here's where our value is. We know what it is. We're really good at it. And so we're going to keep going at that.
Yeah. Yeah. That's awesome. It's good that you guys persevered.
There's so many events happening in town, and there's so many things that we want to do as an organization. And we have so many women that want to participate and help. But I feel like it's been hard throughout the years to start saying no to things because we want to do everything. We want to help everyone, but there's volunteer fatigue. And really at the end of the day, like we can't be everything to everyone. So again, going back to what Allison said, is this going to fuel our mission? If yes, then we accept. If not, we have to pass on that opportunity. So that I think like those are definitely some things we've had to kind of focus on the past few years.
I guess though, talking about like the volunteer fatigue, but did you ever expect to have this many women like willing to like volunteer their time, right? Because I feel like I totally understand the volunteer fatigue because I feel like we all hit that point, but I am still impressed with how many people show up for this group,
But I think it goes back to what Lauren says earlier. It's about like, I think we came up with, Amy, I remember you were at this meeting and we were talking about include, engage, and equip, or include, equip, and engage. So include them, give them the education, and now deploy them back to share that, right? And so like Lauren was speaking on earlier, like you come to the org, you learn how to ride, then you become the teacher and you teach and you bring more women in and make them the leaders, right? And so it's sort of just like continues to fulfill the organization. So as Lauren ascends, then Lauren brings in Brittany, and then Brittany ascends, then Brittany brings in Candace, and Candace ascends. And that's really how you continue to keep your volunteers, is by finding new ones and giving them the tools. And I think one of the byproducts of Women of Oz that we did not expect is that it really became a women's community group. It's not just about mountain biking. Like, these women are going to each other's children's birthday parties, or they're celebrating holidays together, right? Like, it really became this binder for women in the community looking to connect and find a place. And so I think it's just one of those things, like, if you bring someone in, you give them skill sets, they bring in more people. They also become leaders at home, at work, in the community. I mean, Women of Oz has launched so many women to other areas in this community of leadership roles. So it's just been incredible to watch that growth.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. Honestly, that must feel so good too, to just see the growth and to see what you're planning coming to fruition. Like, that's just going to be like, I'm getting chills just talking about it. I'm that dorky. Like, it inspires me so much. Just hearing that.
I would say one thing that very easily could have been a challenge, especially when you're bringing together like a big group or a group of 10 women together to try and plan for what's next and how to move forward, is that there was a lot of really constructive conversations that happened early on as to like how to set up this organization, what the mission was, what are our values and beliefs, and set it up for success. Because like, Candace, you said earlier, like, there's founders or OGs to this that you haven't met, and it's only been 5 years, that a lot of those women have kind of stepped aside, like they helped get some of that foundation set up, stepped aside, but it's been such a great foundation that it's allowed more people, more other women to come into the fold and take like a leadership role and continue to drive the organization forward. I've lived a bunch of different places and I've seen a lot of different women's groups. And I think, you're like, yeah, it's run by one woman or maybe a couple women that have now been beating that drum for 10 plus years. There's something to be said about Women of Oz's creativity and how they continue to bring new people in, support them in that education, and equipping them with the details needed to become a part of driving this forward. That's how the best nonprofits succeed.
Yes. And I actually think there's something to that, because it's also about not feeling like you have to control or have ownership over something. You give someone the skills. That's what a good leader does. Is what you all do, is you give them the resources. And what Allison was saying, someone gives resources to this person and they go up, and someone else comes in and they do the same thing, and you send them on your way. Like, there aren't a lot of organizations that have that understanding and that do that to empower and to give people what they need to do what they love, right? So I think that's why this big group here doesn't have that, because I think it doesn't go the same way. Like, and people have tried, like, hey, let's try and do this, or let's try and do something else, and it just doesn't work. So that's why I love seeing what you all are doing, because it works.
Well, and is that kind of how the Ride Leader program like kind of formed, to where you guys were like, okay, we have a lot of women that clearly want this and need this, so we need to form a program for volunteers to lead women around. So like, how did that even become a thing? And then how soon into you guys leading a ride every Saturday did that start?
I don't know when we started the Ride Leader course curriculum. One of the other founders, Ashley Patterson's, she created that. It's a 4-hour free course, but part of it was first, it's a great way to have all of the women lead the rides, start the rides in kind of the same way. And so we're kind of like controlling the narrative a little bit, controlling the fun factor, making sure everyone's doing a fun icebreaker. And then they learn how to lead a ride and sweep a ride safely. And we give them the tools. So like, what if this happens? What do you do in this scenario? And so just a little bit of bike maintenance. It's just kind of like a nice overview of how to be the best Women of Oz ride leader and sweep. Part of the recipe to the success is we always need volunteers. We need roughly about 34 Women of Oz, certified Women of Oz ride leaders every single Saturday of the month. And so bringing those other women in, making sure they're going through this ride leader course, it always ensures that we have people on call almost to come in and help with these flagship rides. Because without that, if we stopped doing that, we just wouldn't have enough ride leaders to do the rides. And so that's a huge part of the reason why we always have those going on year round.
Yeah. So how can someone be a ride leader? Is that something that they just approach one of you ladies about, or they go on the website, or is it pretty
Yeah, no, they can talk to any of us. Any Women of Oz ride leader would then connect them to us. There's even a form on our website now that they can fill out. They would connect to us and we would get them set up with a course.
That's
and
awesome.
It's free.
Sorry about that. That's awesome. See, that's the best part about it.
Yeah.
People don't think they have to pay something to be a part of it. And I think that's so great. That's so great.
We could definitely charge for it. We probably should charge for it, but it is such a crucial part of the machine of our monthly flagships. And so it's also kind of like a thank you in advance to all of their volunteer hours that they're going to give us.
Yeah. That's amazing.
And I think it's something, if you're watching and you're thinking about starting a club, reach out to us. Women of Oz can be hired to help get your ride leaders ready.
That's right, so cool.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah. Thanks, Allison.
False advertising.
No, that's really good to know. Allison, everything in the show notes.
As Allison just mentioned, we do free programming, but we also are a nonprofit and we do need revenue to support all of our programs. And so we do fundraising. We are looking for partners and sponsors financially to make sure that Women of Oz continues to get more women on bikes. So if there's anyone out there listening, please get in touch with us.
Yes, please get in touch with them. They are doing some amazing things for women in the community. I'm going to leave all their info. We're not done, but I am going to leave all their info in the show notes, you guys, so you can get a hold of them, follow them on social media, check out their website, email the ladies as well. And I mean, with that said, I wanted to kind of shift a little bit and ask about the Women of Oz Sunset Summit that y'all are not doing this year, right?
We're going to take a pause on it for this year.
Yeah. And I mean, it makes sense. It's a lot of work. I totally understand. What are some of the fundraising events, if any, that you guys are doing this year?
Well, we do have one coming up that same weekend that would have been the Sunset Summit. So it'll be September 14th weekend.
Okay.
And it'll be a fundraiser event for our organization. So currently we do not, and we've never charged any membership fees. Most clubs always charge membership fees. And so this fundraiser will be everyone's opportunity to come buy a ticket, have a great time, and their money would go towards funding our organization. We have lots of great plans. I'm not quite ready to divulge all of our secrets, but you guys, it's a guaranteed good time. Just mark your calendars, and we'll be making announcements shortly.
It's going to be a fun day. Well, I can't wait to hear about it.
Sorry, you guys. My dog is like, Candace.
Mia's got a mute. I did want to ask, because I know that with philanthropy, there was talk about reaching out to like U of A students. Would would like a younger demographic be something that you guys would want to start going after, or is there a certain demographic that you are looking to help to like get involved more in the mountain biking community?
I think we always focused on 18 and older. There's other organizations like the NICA Grit program and Little Bellas that are focusing on the young girls, Bike School Bentonville, Buddy Pegs, or Pedal Kids USA. And so we've always really focused on more of the adults. But the college, we do have the University of Arkansas nearby, and I have had several meetings with them, ways to involve them within our community, and whether that's the university getting shuttles to bring women to sign up, then come and join our event, and giving them access to bike rentals. We definitely would love to see and help get more women at the university on bikes too.
Yeah, I would love that. And they actually it's the first university to have mountain biking trails on campus. Do I have to fact check that?
No,
I think I'm okay. I was like, I thought I learned that last year. Just
mountain biking trails. Yeah, I guess UCSB up here has a lot of biking trails too, but I don't know if they're mountain biking trails.
Right. This has like mountain biking features and like all those things that I went to the ribbon cutting last year, so it was really awesome. But I think though the thing with college kids, right, is that it's maybe mountain biking is quite expensive, as we all know, to get involved in. So it's kind of like, how do these kids afford a bike, or even a chamois can cost them $100, stuff like that. So I kind of wonder if that's the roadblock that people hit a lot with college kids, just trying to get them involved.
Well, I know they're trying to build out that program down at the university, a recreation program, and I believe they have a fleet of bikes. So they are trying to break down those barriers for the kids at school. And we, as far as Women of Oz, I know it doesn't help on a daily basis for the university kids, but at our flagship, Samia, we partnered with the Experience Center with Specialized here in town.
Yeah.
And so for our flagships, there's a special code and registration to get a really, really nice bike for $25 from Specialized, and they get you set up on a great bike. Awesome. And so there's never the excuse that there's not a bike available. If 25 is too much, we also have a bike fleet from the Bentonville Parks and Rec available. So that's also, as far as people trying to start a club near them, trying to get access to really affordable or free rentals from local bike shops is key.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure. That's so great that the Specialized Experience works with you guys too. I think I was talking to someone at YT. They're going to open a spot there too. I wasn't sure if that's a person that would also be willing to step in as a sponsor as well, would be YT. Especially because I know they make bikes for smaller riders, stand over height, all that good stuff for smaller riders. YT has some really good options. We're trying to get Candace one of their bikes. I heard on the down low, Candace, they're getting an SL, like a super light e-bike. So
what?
We'll see.
Wait,
yeah,
Candace, are you telling me Candace is short? Shorty short.
Oh, shots fired.
I think what Lauren was talking about is really key to the Women of Oz organization. It was women are not getting on bikes. Okay, hold on. Let's see. What are the 3 things that we can identify that are barriers? And it was education. Yep. I don't know where to start. Intimidation. That looks really scary. And equipment. Yep. I don't have a bike. I'm not going to spend $120 to rent one. And so those were the 3 barriers we aimed to tackle, and we took them one by one. So we started with the bike, and then we sent, 7 women to mountain bike school to get the education dialed, and then eventually created our own program. And then the intimidation, that's huge. Culture is so important. When you show up, you are greeted with a smile. And that's how it should always be. If you are a ride leader and you see someone just standing there, go over and say hi to them, right? They're probably nervous. And so it's just about that first timer experience.
Yeah. That's something I definitely felt when I was there for the summit, was every single person was friendly, no matter who was there. And we all broke that nervousness, because I was there by myself. and I have that too. Like, I think we all have a little bit of that, like rider imposter syndrome or whatever it is, where you don't know. But everyone was so freaking friendly. And then that dance you guys do at the beginning, I guess Jess kicked it off this year with some of her funny things that she was doing. That just breaks the ice, I think, and makes everyone feel welcome. And it doesn't matter your skill level. You're just there to have a good time. And I think, like, I love that so much about the summit. I will definitely be at the next one that you guys do. Bummed not this year, but I will be at the next one for sure.
Maybe you could lead it.
I don't know about that. We'll have Candace lead it, and I'll be her sweep. I'll be her sweep. Candace can lead something, and I'll be her.
Oh boy. I always sweep, and I actually got to chase Annika this past time, and it's great because, like, even though I'm just sweeping, like, both years, each educator allowed me to actually participate, even though I was just a sweep. And like, I was offering to film and so forth and like take footage, but then at the same time, they're like, get up there and go practice. And I'm like, okay, like, cause like as a sweep, you like kind of just have a role that you need to follow through with. And so, yeah, of course I'm not going to try and jump in line with the riders that bought tickets, but it is fun when that opportunity comes up and you can also kind of like learn real quick. So
you say you just sweep, like that's a pretty important job to sweep though, friend. Like you don't be.
Yeah, no, I don't want to dumb it down. The first Sunset Summit was actually the year that broke my ass cheeks to where I was like, I will forever need a chamois for every ride after that. Like I never wore a chamois, and that was a hot summer and it was humid. And I had the wrong set. I don't know. It was bad.
You didn't have full butt cheek underwear, did you?
No.
Candace, is that how you got that chamois butter endorsement deal?
Yeah, chamois butter, hit me up. Sponsor me. Gotta keep the cheeks moisturized.
Yeah. I recently am going no chamois. I got 2 different saddles, and for me that made 100% of the difference.
Nope, this is controversial. I can't talk about this. Like
it is
I don't
very
understand.
Controversial.
I don't understand. I don't understand.
We're gonna ask that question of all of them later.
It's true. But, yeah, I'm like, this is gonna be part of our fire round.
It is. You ladies kind of touched on this a little bit already, but I'm curious. How has Women of Oz evolved from what your goal was year 1 to now year 5, right? Because I think you probably saw different needs and then it evolved in that way. But what's the biggest evolution you've had from year 1 to now to year 5?
I'm just thinking of some photos. I'm imagining, I can see the photos of our first flagship on the Bentonville Square with the yellow pennies, to the photo of Jess Hanna on the momentary steps with 400 women and our like really nice Women of Oz ride leader vests and the backdrop. It's just, I don't think none of us thought that Women of Oz would be what it is today.
You remember the popsicle sticks with the sign on them where everybody was holding up?
Yes, that's right.
Yeah.
Wait, what is this?
Go on.
We grew up. We started out, it was sort of like a rubber band popsicle stick operation, like literally popsicle sticks holding up like what group number you were in, right? And now you come and like beautiful museum lawn, and we have these nice things that go in the ground that are all branded. So I think we just got a little bit more polished, got a little bit more mature, got branded, got partnerships in place, right? Like we kind of started to just grow into our own.
Yeah.
Dude, do y'all still have those popsicle stick things? Y'all need to like put those up like as like museum stuff. Like here's how we started.
Little secret, I redid my garage like 2 summers ago and made it like a nice recreation cave. And when I moved a shelf, I found one of those horrible yellow vests, and I was like, I should take this back to everyone as just like a keepsake for
You
We
should
all
frame
say
it on that wall behind you, Amy.
Oh,
Yeah.
It is alarming. It's alarming how much people will let you do, though, with just a yellow vest on. You get all kinds of authority.
That's true.
That, Amy.
Especially in Bentonville.
Yeah, you can hold traffic and do all kinds of things.
I know. I was gonna say, were you like directing traffic? Like, yeah, this way.
Pretty good time.
So good. Well,
I
with
would
that said, though,
I would say yes to branding, but I think as a whole, as our core, we've stayed true to the beginning. I think
Yeah.
that's always given us our true compass was that. Yeah, we've gotten a little fancier. We've gotten some nicer apparel for sure. But I think as a core, we saw a need and just ran with it and continue to.
Yeah, and I think that's a tribute to the leadership. I mean, Lauren is our executive director, and she really is steering the ship and has done a tremendous job of continuing to keep the culture alive and stay true to our mission. So I think it's great leadership.
For sure.
yeah. I mean, that's without a doubt. You guys have some amazing leadership. And I know Lauren works her butt off, her tush off for everything there in the Women of Oz. But with that said, what is something that y'all are looking forward to in the future? I know Lauren said earlier you can't talk about some of the things you have coming up, but what are some of the things that you are looking forward to for Women of Oz?
I think,
I think
oh, go ahead, Lauren.
I'm so eager to hear what you have to say, Allison.
I think my goal for Women of Oz, I think Women of Oz will always serve the Northwest Arkansas community, and that is our mission to be here and build something in our backyard. But I hope to see other women's clubs start, and if Women of Oz can play a little role in the inspiration, or if we can share tools or help, just be, in any way like someone to bounce things off of, that would be a huge win, because it is about getting women on mountain bikes. We're focused on our backyard, but we'd love to see other women take this to their communities and build it. So that's for me. I hope that's the future of WAS.
We've seen the impact that we've had personally and with all the founding members, board members, what Women of Oz has done for us. And we've seen it, and we've heard so many stories of what mountain biking, what Women of Oz, the community, has done for other women and their families and their friendships and their mental health. And so, just like Allison said, we would love to be able to share this information and start these groups in other places that have accessible riding. That would be really just the best for us. The other thing that I think we're really trying to focus on is kind of what I mentioned, women's health and wellness, that the mountain bike for Women of Oz is just a tool that we're using to connect women. But we are all women, and we are interested in good nutrition, sleep, menopause, friendships, all of the things. It doesn't have to just be one thing. And so we're going to lean into that a little bit. We did that last year at the Sunset Summit, and everyone really enjoyed some of those workshops that focused on hormones and gut health and pelvic floor. It's just a great space to share knowledge and make connections. I
mean, especially with the lack of resources for women's health as it is, like building that extra community that you have around it is key. I'm thinking maybe we can talk offline after this, but what we could do too is create a page on our website that links to y'all and how you started a group and how people can use you as that resource to be like, hey, someone's like, how do I start a mountain bike group? Like, how did Women of Oz do it? Well, here's how they did it. And then they can connect with y'all as well. I think that would be like, the ideas are like clicking in my head right now too. Candace, do you want to start us off? Can't talk today. Do you want to start us off with some rapid fire questions? Although Allison looked like you had something you wanted to say.
Oh, I was just going to say one thing, and this is absolutely key if you're going to start an organization, is consistency. You pick a day, you pick a time, and you show up. Even if nobody RSVPs and you think no one will be there, show up, because it's that one time that you aren't there, that you're going to lose your audience. So I think being consistent is the way to get something started.
Yeah, 100%. That's true.
Yeah. I would second that in a heartbeat, just moving to the Atlanta area and really feeling what's out there and outside of this bubble of NWA. 100%. Yeah. Yeah.
That's awesome. Candace, you want to lead us with some like fun rapid fire questions?
Well, I mean, you already know what I'm about to ask, but chamois or no chamois?
Ooh.
Like we'll start with Lauren. Chamois or no chamois?
Chamois, 100%.
Okay. Yeah.
Amy, go.
Chamois with chamois butter.
Yes.
Can't have one without the other.
Allison, hit us.
You know what it isn't? It isn't no chamois with underwear, because Brittany has been there for that ride and it did not end well. So I think it can be no chamois, but it must be no underwear as well.
Okay, yeah, but someone needs to tell women that, because I also rode with a chamois and like a thong on, and I was like,
right, no, just drop the underwear, no matter what.
Especially on a hot day, it just
you don't want to be tested like that.
Look.
Oh my God, I'm dying.
I've learned some hard lessons just from the chamois situation alone.
Yeah.
It was hard times, guys. I fell on hard times for a while. Like no one was teaching me anything about how to chamois etiquette. I don't know. Anyway.
Chamois etiquette. Brittany, chamois or no chamois?
Chamois, yeah.
Dang,
oh
am I seriously the only one?
But you gotta find like the right one that fits, right? Like, try out.
All right, don't get me wrong.
Chamois, but yes, chamois.
I think chamois are comfortable. My go-to is the Shredley because they have like the things that don't cuff off your thigh. And plus for me, I love it brings my belly in a little bit. You know?
Have you seen their new underwear one? That's like
they're actually
pad, but I just ordered 4 of them. I'm in love with them.
Did you?
Yeah.
They're sending me 2 to demo, so I cannot wait to
get the hot pink one because everybody needs to know that you're wearing that. But
I don't know. I do have the hot pink
demo.
chamois.
Do they expect you to send those back?
I was gonna say.
Just like ride with them with the tag on.
Just
right. Bleach it when you return it. No, I'm just kidding.
Gross.
What's the next one, Candace? What we got?
Okay, flow or tech? Favorite style of riding, flow or tech? So Lauren, we'll have you go.
Flow.
Amy.
Tech.
Brittany.
Flow.
Man, do you have to pick just one?
Yeah.
Flowy tech, yeah. Flow into
hybrid.
Tech. Like train. It's
Flow
very
into tech.
I would say tech. I like tech. I like the puzzle piece aspect of that.
Yeah, same.
But only going downhill, not necessarily up tech.
Again, yep.
Yeah, since you needed to know all of that, you're welcome.
Allison, flow or tech?
Definitely flow.
Okay.
I have no skills.
Dude,
I have a little endurance. That's the only thing.
She can
A
climb.
little endurance. There is that funny video. Listen, I don't know who showed me where you were like,
Okay. To be fair, I was gonna do something really cool, and then I just ended up looking like a Salvador Dali clock, and I just slipped off the back of a mountain, and I was fine. It's fine.
You looked fine.
I was fine.
We need this video. I don't know what you're all talking about.
Can we use that as a podcast?
It's got to be on like some like Oz fails or something, because there was a whole crowd that I had just gotten done bragging about how we started this women's group and that I was a certified instructor, and I was like, I'm gonna go hit this, and I did hit something and slip off of it.
We go like
poor thing.
jump bikes and go running over there to like, because we didn't see her on the other side. The
And
wrong
it
side.
slipped off the back.
Off the side.
Wasn't there like a puff of dust that like flew up or something?
I
Like
think-
it was
I
just like
think
your
so.
one puff of dust.
There was a lot.
And then an Acme brick fell. Cartoon.
What?
Someone needs to send me this video so that I can actually post it when I
I'll
put this
find
on
it,
YouTube.
yeah.
I love it.
I'm gonna do the last one: clips or flat pedals.
Clips.
Amy,
Clips.
Brittany.
If we're talking mountain bike, flat. If we're talking gravel,
We get the long answer from Brett.
for one. Yeah.
I love that.
Yeah, I go flats for sure.
Amy, flats.
Yeah.
Interesting. Okay. Okay.
Yep. I'm
Um,
flats for sure.
I just
I've
started
actually,
writing
to
the
be
mag
fair,
heads.
I've never tried clips, so like clipless. So
You should try, Candace. I tried once.
no.
And
No,
it was-
see,
I tried once.
that's not convincing to me.
You like how
Brittany.
she says I tried once.
Yeah, I'm like,
And
that
that's
was
it.
no.
I think it can really totally depend on the type of pedal that you have, especially on the mountain bike.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I started with clips and then I started really wanting to get into tech. Like I love riding in Sedona, but I just don't trust myself with clips in Sedona. I need my foot has to like quickly exit. You know what I'm saying? No, there's no way. I have magped pedals on these two bikes behind me that I'm trying to demo out and see how they do.
Cool.
So
Have you tried them yet?
Honestly,
I tried the analog last weekend and it was a little sketchy. It was a little sketchy. But the cool thing with these magpeds is you can get different strength magnets. So kind of like if you were to tighten clips pedals, you can do that. But one thing I found annoying is where the ball of your foot sits, where the magnet is, it's a little bit different than where the clips are. So it just takes a little getting used to like where the magnet connects with the pedal. So I don't know. I'm going to ride them this weekend and see how I do on the e-bike and see how I do on the e-bike. But we'll get a review soon. I wanted to give them to Candace and I don't think she wanted them. Was it you or was it Alexis that didn't want them?
Alexis. I will try them. I mean, I'll try, but like Kessler down here is so techy that I do have fear of not being able to like put my foot down immediately. So that I mean, that's the same fear.
That's a whole other
The technique of like removing your foot is a little different. It's more of a peel off than it is a twist with clipless or pick up your foot with flat. So I had to get used to that.
So you've ridden them before, Brittany?
I have, yeah. That was my I think I could do that versus clipless. But anyways, I enjoyed them. I thought they were pretty cool.
You did? Okay. Would you still use them now if you had them?
I would if they didn't weigh so much. The ones I had were like the earlier on ones, and they were pretty darn heavy. But I like the idea for sure.
Yeah, these new ones are really light. The new Enduro 2s that they have are really light. Because that was one of my fears too. I'm like, it's going to be kind of heavy, but it wasn't.
Right.
Ladies, is there anything that we didn't cover? I know it's getting kind of late over there. Is there something we didn't talk about? We could talk about so much, but is there something specifically we didn't talk about that you guys wanted to mention?
I would love for Lauren to share a few numbers, like how many riders have come through the program, how many ride leaders we have, and how many BICP level 1 coaches we have.
Yes. Come on, Lauren, tell us.
Yeah, that really makes it's a big highlight for us. So since that February, I think officially it was February of 2019, that flagship to now, we've had over 6,500 women and Women of Oz ride leaders attend our flagship event.
No way.
And so I had mentioned earlier too, this Women of Oz ride leader course that we have. And so we've put through roughly 120 women that's been certified to be a ride leader for us. And throughout the years, there have been some people that have come and gone, but we've had 50 women BICP level 1 certified and several level 2. And most recently, we did send a couple classes through PIMBA's level 1. And then a couple people did level 2 air with that education. And it just all of the education makes us better riders, better leaders, and gives these women more confidence to get out there and do the same.
My mind is seriously blown right now. Like, what the F is happening?
Thanks, man.
6,500 women in 5 years. Jesus Christ.
Yeah, and I think it's just a testament that there are a lot of women that could be mountain bikers, but they have not been invited into the conversation. And so
1,000%.
You give them the skill set, they will bring more people.
1,000%. Can you imagine what this is going to be like in 5 years from now? The amount of women that are going to be on bikes and certified and riding. Like, oh my God. I'm so excited right now.
And I've told you this before, Mia, too, but like, I struggled from my first mountain bike as well. And I mean, luckily I was doing Brittany's hair, and she was like, I hate that you hate mountain biking, and like, we're going to fix that. And she hooked me up with a class, and like, even David, my husband, came because, you know, like, we were both kind of struggling. He was definitely better at it. Or maybe not better. He just didn't fall as much as I was. So, but like, just that alone, and then where that's taking me, like, I didn't know I needed mountain biking until I needed mountain biking, right? Like, it's like taken me to all these different places. And so I think that it's just hearing you guys now help people form other groups like outside of Bentonville. That's amazing, because I want nothing but to share the feeling that I get when I'm on my bike and I'm with my girlfriends. And like, my mind is just like, okay, I don't have to worry about my taxes, and I don't have to worry about like work. And I'm just like going out and challenging myself and having a good time and goofing off. And it's like, you guys get to help people form groups that will help other women find connections like that too. So it's just great.
Yeah. And you might just end up with a few best friends.
Yeah.
That's very true. The ones that I can call my best friends, and I know I could come back and knock on their door and say, hey, I need a bed at any given time. We didn't have those circles that intertwined, you know, kids, different ages, whatever, hobbies and stuff. The one thing we had was biking. And yeah, I wouldn't have found some of these amazing people, you know, to call great friends, if not. Candace, two things. One, thanks for not kicking me out of your chair whenever I just completely like right at you with stuff. And then two, about 2 years into WAS, my husband looked at me and he's like, you can stop this WAS stuff. And I'm like, what do you mean? And he says, there's more ladies on mountain bikes in Bentonville, Arkansas than there is dudes. He's like, so I think you can stop. I'm like, no, we're just getting started. That was pretty cool. Pretty cool.
Yeah. Take the back seat, dude.
Yeah.
That's amazing. That's so amazing. I'm sorry. I think I broke up on the back end. I don't know if you guys still are okay with the streaming for a second, but
yeah. All is good.
Oh crap. Did I lose you guys?
I hear you, but it's frozen.
No.
Or your face is frozen. There you are. You're back. Maybe.
Okay.
Yeah.
Sorry, ladies.
It's all good.
No, it was going
Are you
so
back?
well.
I was like, what's going on? Is it your internet?
I don't think she can hear us.
I think I told my wife to stop streaming. I'm like, you just got home. Can you please stop streaming? So I think that's what happened.
Oh, that's so funny.
Technical
I'm waiting for one of my
Also,
kids to flush the toilet over here. So I don't know if you tell, Brittany and I have had about 7 visitors since we sat in this front room.
Actually, you've done really well. I wish you guys could have saw what was behind the screen, all these kids and dogs and stuff. And Al's just not missing a beat and just handing papers and telling kids they can do stuff. And you all had it's amazing.
That's awesome. It's also like 5 o'clock in California now, so I think everyone is streaming everything at this point. Everyone's done working.
Sure.
Ladies, thank you so much. Thank you so much for taking the time to talk with us and be on the podcast. I had a blast. And hopefully you guys can still hear me because my internet is
Thanks for the opportunity, Mia and Candace. This is so fun. Thank you.
Yes, of course. Thanks for carving out time for us.
Anytime.
Yeah. And hopefully we'll get together in a month at the Bentonville Bike Fest, and maybe we could do like a trailside quick chat or something. Trailside chat.
Let's do it. Looking
on the
forward.
what's up.
I don't know.
Yeah, you gotta go find that Easter egg, Mia.
Okay, y'all are coming and you're helping me. I'll be on YouTube. I can keep up. I'll be good. I'll be good. Have a great night, ladies. Thank you so much. And for those listening, we are going to have this available wherever you stream your podcast, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, all the things, and YouTube. So you can actually watch us chat if you have that as well. I'm going to put all their information in the show notes. So whenever you want to contact Lauren, Amy, Brittany, Allison, you're going to have all the information there as well. And don't forget to follow them on social media, where they're very active on Instagram as well. So have a great night, ladies, and we will catch up soon.
Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.